bad guy.
I didn't say he was bad. I said he was shit and whiny and made everything about himself.
He tried his best.
He was weak. When you needed support, he was weak.
He was a revolutionary.
He wasn't a revolutionary.
He wanted us to change the world.
Maybe. Chapter 9. The woman decides to go to Tahrir.
Part 1. Frame 31. The woman arrives at Tahrir. We can see the back of her head. In front of her is a massive crowd.
Rules for walking into the crowd.
It's terrifying.
Put your arms in front of you.
Men everywhere.
Lead with your shoulders.
No space to move.
Don't be afraid to push.
No space to breathe.
Unfortunately, there is nothing you can do to protect your back.
She moves forward, pushing into the people in front of her, people pushing into her.
If someone touches you, it will be hard to tell who it is.
People groping and touching.
So focus on going through the crowd.
Kareem holds her hand, pulling her through.
On getting out.
She pushes and pushes and...
Get out!
She's out! Shaken and scared, but she's out.
Barely made it.
She holds Kareem's hand. He beams down at her. She smiles back. He doesn't notice the uneasiness in her eyes, and she doesn't say anything.
She knows she's one of the lucky ones on that day.
Chapter 10. The Circle of Hell.
Good! Let's skip to the important part. No need to dwell on that sad little Kareem anymore. He was already taken enough of our time.
He didn't understand. He just wanted us to change the world. What happened was not his fault. It was not his fault.
He could have protected you. He could have tried by the things he
No
said.
one could have protected me.
But when you are...
Enough!
Alright. But only because I do not want to think of his stupid little face.
Frame 32. Eagle eye view of Tahrir Square. That day in November, that day when she got away with just a grope and a grab, that was the day that the mob rapes of Tahrir began.
The circle of hell!
Next frame. First, they separate the girl from the people she's with.
Next frame.
Then they crowd around her. They're usually around 50 or 60 men, and they form 3 circles.
Next frame.
The outermost circle is of men who try to shift the attention away from what's happening, usually shouting, "There's nothing going on!" or accusing the women of being spies or prostitutes.
Next frame.
The middle circle. This is the circle of men who pretend that they're trying to help her, when all they're really doing is creating confusion, but more importantly, they're making a very difficult barrier to get through.
Next frame.
The innermost circle. Now these are the ones with their hands on the girl. They grab her, they place her in the middle and form a tight circle around her. They undress her, and using just their hands, they rape her. Next frame. Eagle eye view of Tahrir Square. We can see 3 circles forming amidst the crowd.
Next chapter. Our heroine leaves her pathetic boyfriend and decides to take matters in her hands.
Chapter 11. Our heroine is not a hero.
Ah, fuck this bullshit!
She stays away from Tahrir Square. She hides behind a screen, and she volunteers for the Operation Anti-Sexual Harassment.
Come on, Hanna.
She does their social media.
Why are you mentioning any of this?
They need to raise awareness.
Write about her dreams.
Visibility is the first step.
Tell them about her nightmares.
For a whole year, she helps document, translate, and tweet about all of Tahrir's mob rape cases.
Your nightmares.
a girl is taken screaming into a subway station.
All right, let's do this your way then. According to the report that was made by the UN Women in 2013, 99.9% of the women in Egypt have been sexually harassed in one form or another.
Video. A girl is taken screaming into a subway station.
91.6% have received unwanted physical contact.
Video. The clearest documentation of the circle of hell that we have.
Over 90% of these people, both male and female, claim that the women invited this kind of behavior.
Article. A girl is penetrated with a knife.
97.3% claim that the harassment is caused by the women's public behavior.
Article. A girl is almost suffocated to death by men tugging at her skirt.
96.3% blame provocative clothing.
Article. A girl drops to the ground. Men pack a car on top of her hair so she cannot move.
95.2% blame enticing makeup.
Article. An analysis of the circle of hell.
94.4% blame the way women talk.
Testimony. I implored him. I begged him. I tried to tell him that I was a mother of two. I don't know what made this man go from being my savior to being my rapist.
93.3% blame the way women walk.
Testimony. I was one of the Operation Anti-Sexual volunteers. I tried to help her, but I couldn't even reach her.
86.2% of the women in Egypt do not feel safe or secure walking down the streets.
Testimony. Hundreds and hundreds of hands stripping and violating my body.
Statistics are never reliable.
And what about my testimony?
Most of these statistics are wrong.
It was my testimony.
The reality is 100% of the women have been sexually harassed.
It happened to me.
It doesn't matter what they do, how they walk, or how they talk.
It happened to me.
Time to tell the story, Hanna.
I can't.
Tell the story, Hanna.